With Rise Star Church Evening World Out in Love. What we're going to talk about today is haremizing. So, the you've heard me talk a lot about indirectness, the insinuation of somebody to lead, or the insinuation for somebody to follow. If you've paid attention to the laws of how I talked about those, and you see that it's not entrapping in a format when it is when there was no invitation in some manner. They didn't ask you to lead. Then it's easy to divide if they choose to. Those that they would say, you could say, let in, thus haremizing, or those that they could convict for merchandise according to the criminal justice system. And another aspect would be how fear is used, sandwiched in the effect of the whole kind of luring process. And especially with the younger, which in a righteous format would be according to before a chastity chase type thing, before Rise Star, of that your husband will come to you type of thing, which of course doesn't apply around this mean priest right at the well format in green, unless they're on their way out pretty quick without the education there. So you could imagine how this really happened in history from a small child format. You had a abused child, and somebody took that child away. And here is a child that kind of one is sexual in many ways that would affect other children. Two would almost invite, because of their sexuality, anybody who is sexual or wants sexual relations with them. So in a simple format, it would be a training that would be in that process. One way to keep them from affecting others is to narrow down and train them in a way that they can have sexual relations. If it's unavoidable, it can't be more of a chastity thing. And also to keep those out that would be lured sexually from the sexuality of that child, they would create that business of luring, of actually looking for, which is presented all over in the writ, looking for those that they can convict by the sexuality of this child to hide how they are having sex with the child. Kind of like a fake format to do a real thing. And this will increase as they're older in different formats, especially if you looked at the chain gang in the Rise Star Church Constitutional Writ, of how they would take their unlike attractions. Like in my case, they would format it with a whole slew of gay men. And then they would have one in this format that wouldn't use words, that would be indirectly inviting, indirectly wanting you to follow. And then they wouldn't be there that long. It'd be little decreases at a time, and then it kind of, so they may sandwich it with your dislikes, chain in a suppressive atmosphere to keep everyone out, or with fear they would do the same thing, or both. But any which way, you'll see how it's integrated completely in society. start paying attention. It's as simple as if you were on a first date with somebody and you're kind of new with them, and then you actually blatantly got asked, hey, I've had such a great time with you. You're so beautiful, and then I want to have sexual relations with you. I want to make love to you. I want, whatever. I want to fuck you. Whatever. Those processes, and then if you sat there, and it would be generally mostly a turnoff in that aspect. It's more of a, it's integrated in society so much that it is more like, oh, I want the surprise attack. I want to plant the kiss on me before on the first date, before he sends me on my way. Different things like that, and you'll see the legality if you. All you have to do is ask a lawyer and such things. That it makes a real big difference on the first meeting of somebody, or the first sexual relation with somebody. Once there was a mutual first sexual relation with a person, it makes it very difficult for convictions after that, unless there's some extreme thing going on. Can't be construed because it was mutual the first time, so it's kind of like a however they related type of deal. But they can pretty much frame this child all the way on up and start integrating things of, look, they can do the mental aspects, they're not good enough, they're weak, they're not the elite select like we are, because they run away, with that format, because they know by Holy Spirit anyway they could go do two ways: product in a cage, or a part of, if I'm let into this elite group, if I take this woman. But you could see as they would, you get this full picture, you would see how a child, for instance, somebody would say, oh no, you got to do more luring. Don't ask. You're getting punished now some way. You don't get it for a day. They're not, in the veil, needy. Some kind of punishment because they're asking for it, or some kind of punishment if they want a person to lead. So in that way, they can start a training process to where, oh no, remember, if you want it, no words, just lure me, just dance in front, do a little sexual trained exercise type of thing. And then after that, they can do a step, work their way up. Okay, now from now on, now I want you to lead away. You're playing hard to get type of thing. Where do you think that naturally came from? And then it just goes in that process in a way that they're basically Haremized, where they're trained to, it's never going to be mutual. It's going to be the man taking the woman. It's going to be in that format. So you can see how this would naturally keep all out, according to, they see luring of some kind. They want to know if it's mutual, but it just keeps on hard to get. There's no invitation, there's no type of thing. People will give up. They can easily put a psychological thing when the older they're just weak. They don't go after that sort of thing. Or in another format, if they eventually do, then they can determine, well, will this person work better as part of our group, or will this person work better and work good for our instilling fear factor by merchandising them in a jail or prison cell, according to a charge format. So what we're going to do, and of course none of this really applies around the Well of Rise Star Church, which is really the whole point anyway, especially Green But what we're going to do, and like I said, it was reverse boundary. It was about lying and cheating in this format. The little psychological games, not good enough, or manly enough, or not part of our group. You see how they just gave up. Things of that nature. What we're going to do is we're cutting them completely off everywhere in creation, except around Rockstar Church, of course. And you're going to notice it in their community in your communities when they are weaponized in this matter. They're made in a format to be taken for the division of our people. They're kind of excluding little parts of love anyway. So they're just going to pop out. Anyway, I believe the group, or they're going to come around Star Church because third parties keep an eye out, making sure this sort of hypocrisy of hiding it with acting like they're trying to catch it type of thing is not existing. And start noticing it in society, try to change that perception of how everybody's been conforming that way. Why? Yeah, why a woman should think of it that way. Why is that considered exciting to me that way? But it wouldn't be that way. And realize it's all with the cup, society and the systems of control, and it's all in me. We can divide these two, and you will train from other locust children up until the teaching and training of this public nation church, Livestock Church, of how to send in there and get everybody in that format so they can determine who they can haremize themselves. God bless and find love in social well of freedom in the green around the world. God bless.